we're encoding this singularity into the quantum signature of your existence itself. Every electron in your body is now spinning in abundance rotation. Welcome. Every cell is vibrating at the wealth frequency. Brian Scott. Every strand of DNA is coded with prosperity instructions. Singularity activation. Something extraordinary happens when a quantum field reaches critical mass. Scientists call it a singularity. That moment when the normal rules break down and something completely new emerges. Black holes form this way. Stars ignite this way. And right now, in this precise moment, as you're listening to me, you're about to discover how to create your own abundant singularity. A point in space and time where wealth doesn't just flow to you. It cannot escape your gravitational pull. We are creating a collapse point in reality itself where abundance has no choice but to fall toward you, faster and faster, accumulating mass and momentum until the very fabric of your financial reality warps around this single inevitable truth. Money finds you because that's what money does in your presence. Think about what happens when you drop a marble on a stretched rubber sheet. Everything nearby rolls toward that depression, not because you're pulling it, not because you're trying, but because you have bent the surface of reality. That's the difference between manifesting money and becoming an abundant singularity. One requires constant effort, the other changes the physics of wealth itself. Every wealthy person you've ever heard of, they didn't get rich by chasing money. They became something that money chases. They crossed an event horizon where their relationship with abundance fundamentally shifted. Once you cross that line, once you create this singularity, there's no going back. The old reality where money was hard, where abundance was scarce, where you had to struggle, that reality cannot exist in the same space as what you're becoming. So let me ask you something. Are you ready to stop being someone who attracts abundance and become a living law of physics that abundance obeys? Because that's what's about to happen. We're going to collapse your quantum field into such a dense point of certainty that wealth will orbit around you like planets around a sun. You know what's incredible about a singularity? It doesn't discriminate. It doesn't choose what to pull in. Everything within its field of influence moves toward it. That means unexpected income, forgotten assets returning, opportunities you never saw coming, people suddenly wanting to pay you for things you love doing anyway. The singularity doesn't care where the money comes from. It just knows that money belongs in your field. Here's what most people never understand about physics and money. At the quantum level, money is just information. It's data moving through systems, and information always flows toward coherence. Always, without exception. When you become a singularity of abundance consciousness, you become the most coherent point in the financial quantum field. Money reorganizes itself to include you because that's what creates maximum coherence in the system. In this episode, we're going to do something that shouldn't be possible. We're going to take your current abundance frequency, whatever it is right now, and compress it. Compress it until it becomes so dense, so undeniable, so mathematically certain that it punctures through into a new kind of existence. An existence where you don't hope for money. You don't even expect money. Money simply is in your reality the same way gravity simply is on Earth. And the part that's going to blow your mind is once we create this singularity, it feeds itself. Every dollar that comes to you adds mass to your singularity. Every opportunity that finds you increases your gravitational pull. Every moment of abundance you experience makes the next moment of abundance more inevitable. It's a runaway reaction that builds on itself exponentially. I need you to understand something. This isn't positive thinking. This isn't fake it till you make it. This is rewiring the quantum circuitry of how abundance interacts with your existence. When astronomers discover a black hole, they don't see the hole itself. They see everything around it being pulled in, accelerating, heating up, glowing with the friction of inevitability. That's what people are going to see around you. This unexplainable magnetism where opportunities just seem to find you, where money just seems to appear, where abundance just seems natural. Let's talk about escape velocity for a second. Every massive object has an escape velocity, the speed something needs to travel to break free from its gravitational pull. Earth's escape velocity is about 25,000 miles per hour. The sun's is even higher, but a black hole, its escape velocity is faster than the speed of light. Nothing escapes, not even light itself. When your abundance singularity forms, poverty consciousness won't have the escape velocity to leave your field. Scarcity thinking will get pulled in and transformed into abundance. Fear about money will cross your event horizon and become excitement about opportunity. This isn't about fighting these old patterns. It's about becoming such a massive presence of abundance that these patterns cannot maintain their structure in your presence. Now you might be thinking, okay, but how does this actually work in real life? Perfect question. Here's what happens when you become an abundant singularity. Your phone rings with unexpected opportunities, not because you're looking for them, but because opportunities are looking for the path of least resistance. And you've become that path. Money you forgot about resurfaces. Old investments pay off. People who owe you remember to pay. Refunds arrive. Bonuses appear. Not randomly, but because your singularity is calling all abundance home to you. Your ideas suddenly have value. Things you've been thinking about for years suddenly become profitable. Not because the idea's changed, but because you've crossed the threshold where your thoughts naturally convert to currency. People want to give you money. They can't explain it. They just feel like investing in you, supporting you, paying you well for your work, because on a quantum level, they sense that money wants to be near you. See, most people think abundance is something you achieve, but a singularity isn't an achievement, it's an event. It's a moment when conditions become so perfect that transformation isn't just possible, it's mandatory. When enough mass concentrates in one place, a star has to ignite. It has no choice. When enough abundance consciousness concentrates in one being, an abundant singularity has to form. It's not personal, it's physics. And that's what we're about to do. We're going to take every moment you've ever experienced abundance, every time you found $1, received a gift, got paid, felt wealthy, even for a second. We're going to take all those quantum moments and compress them into a single point, a point so dense with abundance reality that it punches through the veil between possible and inevitable. So right now, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, just let yourself arrive fully in this moment. You don't need to close your eyes. You don't need to sit in any special way. A singularity doesn't require preparation. It just requires enough mass in one place at one time, and you already have that mass. Every dollar you've ever touched has left a quantum imprint in your field. Every moment of abundance you've ever experienced has added your abundance mass. You've been building toward this singularity your entire life without knowing it. Feel that for a minute. All that abundance energy you've accumulated over your lifetime, it's spread out right now, scattered across memories and experiences. But what if we could call it back? What if we could summon every quantum particle of abundance you've ever encountered and bring it all to this single moment? It's already happening. Can you feel it? That subtle pull as your abundance memories start moving towards you now. That time you found $20 in your pocket. Not just a memory. It's an abundance coordinate in space, time, and it's moving towards you. That feeling when you got your first paycheck? That's not in the past anymore. It's collapsing into your present moment. Every raise you've ever received is condensing into now. Every gift, every windfall, every moment when money came easily, they're all losing their position in time and rushing toward this singular point of present moment awareness. As these abundance moments compress, they don't just add together, they multiply. They exponentially increase each other's power because in quantum physics, when similar frequencies occupy the same space, they don't just combine, they amplify into something completely new. You're feeling it now. That density building in your chest, that weight of certainty growing in your cells. This is quantum mass accumulating at the center of your being. Every abundance experience you've ever had is collapsing into a single point of infinite density. And as this density increases, something remarkable happens. The boundary between you and abundance starts to dissolve. Not because you're reaching for abundance, but because the gravitational pull of your singularity is so strong that the space between you and money begins to collapse. Right now, in this exact moment, you're approaching the event horizon. That point of no return where your old relationship with money cannot survive, where scarcity cannot maintain its structure, where lack simply ceases to be an option. Push through, let it happen. Let every cell in your body compress into this knowing, this absolute certainty that abundance is not something you attract, it's something you are. You're not creating an abundance mindset, you're becoming an abundant singularity, a point in space and time where money has no choice but to exist. There. Feel that? That's the collapse. That's the moment when critical mass is achieved, when all those scattered abundance experiences compress past the point of separation and become one unified field of wealth consciousness. You are now a singularity. You have crossed the threshold where your gravitational pull on abundance has become inescapable. Money will now move you with the same certainty that objects fall toward Earth. A singularity doesn't try to attract things. It doesn't effort or strain or hope. It simply is. And by being, it reorganizes reality around itself. You don't need to visualize money coming to you anymore. That would be like the sun visualizing planets orbiting around it. The planets orbit because that's what mass does in the presence of greater mass. From this moment forward, money will orbit around you because that's what money does in the presence of an abundance singularity. Opportunities will bend towards you because that's how space-time works near massive objects. Success will accelerate towards you because you have become a gravity well for prosperity. Let yourself really feel this new physics of your existence. When you walk into a room, you're not hoping to find opportunities. You're a singularity. Opportunities reorganize themselves to find you. When you have an idea, you're not wondering if it could make money. You're a singularity. Ideas that enter your field naturally monetize because that's what happens near the event horizon of abundance. This isn't something you need to maintain or hold or even remember. A black hole doesn't remember to be a black hole. It simply is, and reality responds accordingly. You are now an abundance singularity, and reality is already reorganizing itself around this fact. Think about what this means for your daily life. You wake up tomorrow, and you're still a singularity. You go to work, you're a singularity. You're shopping for groceries, you are a singularity. Every moment of every day, you're warping the fabric of financial reality just by existing. People will start to notice something different about you, but they won't be able to name it. They'll say things like, everything you touch turns to gold. You have the best luck with money. Opportunities just seem to find you. They're recognizing the singularity without understanding the physics of what they're seeing. And here's where it gets really extraordinary. Every time money comes to you now, and it will, with increasing frequency and magnitude, it doesn't just add to your bank account. It adds to the mass of your singularity. You become denser with abundance, stronger in your gravitational pull, more inevitable in your wealth attraction. This is why the rich get richer, not because the system is rigged, but because they've crossed the singularity threshold where abundance feeds on itself. And you've just crossed that same threshold. You are now operating by the same physics that creates billionaires, that builds empires, that generates generational wealth. So what does this look like in practical terms? Let me paint you a picture of your next few weeks. First, you'll notice small things. Coins appearing in unexpected places. Discounts and deals finding you without you looking. People randomly deciding to be generous towards you. These aren't coincidences. This is your singularity beginning to bend reality. Then it accelerates. Unexpected checks arrive. Opportunities you didn't apply for select you. Ideas you have suddenly have buyers. Your work becomes more valuable without you changing anything about it. Singularity is gaining mass, pulling in bigger and bigger abundance particles. Within months, you'll look back and barely recognize your old financial reality. Not because you worked harder or got lucky, but because you fundamentally changed the physics of how money interacts with your existence. You became a law of nature that abundance must obey. Now your logical mind might be saying, "This sounds too good to be true." Perfect. Thank your logical mind for trying to protect you, but explain to it that we're not violating any laws of physics here. We're actually aligning with them. In quantum mechanics, observation collapses probability into actuality. By becoming a singularity of abundance consciousness, you're not hoping that abundance comes to you someday. You're guaranteeing it. You have collapsed the probability wave so completely that abundance is the only possible outcome just by listening to this. My words are designed to create this singularity within you. All you got to do is listen. In thermodynamics, energy flows from areas of high concentration to areas of low concentration. But a singularity reverses this. It creates such a powerful center that energy flows toward it regardless of concentration. You become that center for financial energy. In relativity, massive objects warp space-time. The more massive the object, the more it bends reality around itself. You've just made your abundance consciousness so massive that it is bending financial reality in your direction. Let's talk about quantum entanglement for a moment. When particles become entangled, what happens to one instantly affects the other, regardless of distance. Your abundance singularity is now quantumly entangled with every dollar in existence, every opportunity in the field, every potential source of wealth. When money moves anywhere in the world on some level, it feels your pull. When opportunities arise anywhere in the economy, they're aware of your singularity. You're not separate from the flow of abundance anymore. You're entangled with it at the quantum level. This means that abundance can find you through paths you never imagined, through people you haven't met yet, through industries you know nothing about, through possibilities that don't even exist yet. The singularity doesn't care about the path. It only cares about the destination, and all paths lead to you. Here's something that's going to start happening that will seem almost magical. Your abundance will start multiplying itself, not just growing, but actually reproducing. You'll invest a small amount and get unusual returns. You'll spend money and have more come back than you spent. You'll give generously and receive exponentially. This isn't karma or universal law. This is the physics of a singularity. Energy that enters your field gets amplified by the density of your abundance mass. Think about what happens to light near a black hole. It doesn't just bend, it accelerates, it intensifies. It creates effects that shouldn't be possible under normal physics. Money near your singularity does the same thing. It accelerates, it intensifies, it creates returns that shouldn't be possible under normal financial physics. As we go deeper into this activation, you're going to feel something starting to cascade through your entire timeline. Past, present, and future are all being affected by your singularity simultaneously. In your past, old financial wounds are healing retroactively. Decisions that seem like mistakes are revealing themselves as perfect positioning for abundance. Every financial struggle you've ever had was just compression building the pressure needed to create this singularity. In your present, reality is reorganizing itself around your new physics. Relationships are shifting to accommodate your abundance. Circumstances are aligning to support your wealth. Everything is reorienting to your new gravitational center. In your future, timelines are collapsing into the most abundant possibilities. Probable futures where you struggle with money are becoming impossible. Timelines where you experience massive wealth are becoming inevitable. The singularity doesn't just affect now, it reaches through time itself. Something profound is happening to your emotional relationship with money. Fear is becoming impossible. Not because you're brave, but because you can't fear something that's gravitationally bound to you. You don't fear that the earth will suddenly lose gravity. You don't fear that the sun will forget to shine. And now you can't fear that abundance will leave you because it physically can't escape your singularity. Worry about money is dissolving. Stress about finances is evaporating. These emotions require separation between you and abundance, and that separation no longer exists. You've collapsed into unity with wealth itself. In chaos theory, there's something called a strange attractor, a point toward which complex systems naturally evolve. No matter where the system starts, no matter how chaotic it seems, it always moves toward the strange attractor. You have become a strange attractor for abundance. The entire economic system in all its chaos and complexity now has you as one of its attraction points. Money moving through the system will find its way to you through paths that seem random but are actually inevitable. This is why wealthy people often say money comes easily to them. They become strange attractors. The system naturally routes abundance in their direction, and now you're operating by the same dynamics. Your consciousness itself is upgrading to accommodate this new reality. Neural pathways associated with scarcity are being overwritten. Synaptic patterns of lack are being replaced with abundance configurations. Your brain is rewiring itself to support your singularity. You'll find yourself naturally thinking in terms of abundance now, not as practice, not as affirmation, but as your default operating system. When you see a price, you'll think, I can afford that, before your old programming can kick in. When you have an idea, you'll assume it's profitable before doubt can form. Here's something remarkable that's going to start happening. Your singularity doesn't just affect you, it affects everyone around you. People in your presence will find themselves having abundant ideas. Being near you will trigger prosperity consciousness in others. Your singularity creates a field that elevates the abundance potential of everyone in your vicinity. This isn't about giving them your abundance. It's about your gravitational field being so strong that it lifts everyone's prosperity consciousness. Like how massive objects can slingshot smaller objects to higher velocities. Your singularity will slingshot people around you into higher levels of wealth. Traditional economic rules are based on scarcity, supply and demand, limited resources, competition for finite wealth. But a singularity operates outside these rules. It doesn't compete for abundance, it generates abundance through its very existence. You're no longer playing by the rules of scarcity economics. You're operating in abundance physics where wealth isn't taken from somewhere else but generated from the quantum field itself. You're not getting richer by making someone else poorer. You're getting richer by increasing the total amount of abundance in the system. Feel how your entire timeline is accelerating now. Goals you had for 10 years are pulling themselves closer. Dreams you thought would take decades are condensing into months. The singularity doesn't just attract abundance. It warps time itself, pulling future success into present reality. This acceleration will feel almost surreal at first. Of course it will. You'll achieve things so quickly that your logical mind won't be able to process it. You will reach financial goals before you finish planning for them. You'll manifest amounts that used to seem impossible before you adjusted to the amounts you just manifested. Every person has unconscious upper limits on how much abundance they can receive. These limits were created by programming, experience, what you saw growing up. But a singularity doesn't respect limits. It consumes them, it pulls them past their breaking point until they collapse. Right now, every upper limit you've ever had about money is being pulled into your singularity and dissolved. The ceiling on your income collapsed. The maximum you thought you could save obliterated. The most you believe you could earn completely transcended. You can feel it happening. Those old limits stretching, warping, breaking apart. They can't maintain their structure in the presence of your singularity. They're like ice crystals being pulled into a star. They simply cease to exist in their old form. A singularity doesn't just attract at a certain point. It also radiates. Stars are singularities of hydrogen fusion that radiate light and heat. Your abundant singularity, once it reaches critical mass, will start radiating opportunity and prosperity. You will become a source of abundance for others, not through effort, but through overflow. Opportunities will generate around you that you can share. Wealth will cascade through you to benefit everyone in your sphere. You'll become a fountain of prosperity, not because you're trying to be generous, but because that's what abundance singularities do. They overflow. Your singularity is not separate from the universal flow of abundance. It's becoming a crucial node in that flow. Like how major cities become hubs where highways naturally converge. You're becoming a hub where abundance pathways naturally intersect. Money flowing through the global economy will route through you. Not all of it, but enough that you become a significant presence in the abundance grid. You're not just receiving from the flow anymore. You're becoming part of the infrastructure of prosperity itself. Feel how deeply this singularity is installing itself into your being. It's not something you have. It's something you are. It's coding itself into your DNA, anchoring itself in your cells, becoming the core of your energetic signature. Tomorrow you'll wake up and still be a singularity. Next year you'll be a singularity. 10 years from now, you'll be an even more massive singularity. This isn't a meditation you need to repeat. This isn't a state you need to maintain. This is a fundamental transformation in what you are. Your entire reality is reassembling itself around your singularity. Every relationship, every circumstance, every possibility is reorganizing to accommodate your new physics. Some things that don't align with abundance will naturally fall away. New things that support your prosperity will naturally appear. Don't resist these changes. They're not losses, they're reconfigurations, like how a caterpillar's body completely liquefies before becoming a butterfly. Your old reality needs to liquefy before it can reform around your singularity. Trust the process, trust the physics, trust the inevitability of your abundance. Now we're going to lock this in at the deepest level of your consciousness, below thought, below emotion, below even belief. We're encoding this singularity into the quantum signature of your existence itself. Every electron in your body is now spinning in abundance rotation. Every cell is vibrating at the wealth frequency. Every strand of DNA is coded with prosperity instructions. This is molecular reality. One final compression now. Take every moment of this activation, every word, every realization, every thought you had while you listened, every feeling, every shift, compress it all into a single point of infinite density. Let it collapse past the point of description, past the point of understanding, tinier, smaller, into the quantum, into pure beingness. You are the singularity. The singularity is you. There is no separation, no distance, no difference. You don't have abundance consciousness. You are abundance consciousness collapsed into human form. And now it's complete. The singularity is fully formed, permanently installed, irreversibly activated. From this moment forward, you operate by different laws than you did just a few moments ago. You exist in a different relationship with reality than you did when we started. You are now and forever will be an abundance singularity, a point in space and time where wealth is not just possible or probable, but mathematically inevitable. Money will find you because that's what money does in your presence. Opportunities will select you because that's what opportunities do near your event horizon. Success will accelerate toward you because that's what success does in your field. Every moment from now on is a moment inside your singularity. Every breath is an abundance breath. Every thought is an abundance thought. Every action is an abundance action. Go out into the world as what you now are, not someone who wants abundance, not someone who attracts abundance, but a living singularity of abundance itself. Watch how reality reorganizes around you. Observe how money obeys your physics. Experience how opportunity bends toward your gravity. You've crossed the event horizon and there's no going back. There's only the endless, accelerating, exponentially increasing cascade of abundance that pours through your singularity from now until forever. Welcome to your new reality as an abundance singularity. This singularity is permanent, and your abundance is now inevitable. You can find all episodes of The Reality Revolution at therealityrevolution.com. Join the Reality Revolution tribe at school.com, skool.com/reality revolution. You can find all my art at www.newearth.art. And welcome to the Reality Revolution. I'm incredibly excited to announce a new community that I've formed on School for the Reality Revolution. I've been teaching timeline shifting and reality creation for years through YouTube, and I've watched the same pattern repeat over and over again. People manifest the most incredible things, and then it all collapses. This is where the shifts become permanent, and I will see you inside. Once again, it's www.school.com/reality revolution.